Hey everybody, Brad Linder back at you again with another daily card. We are pushing 352 today, 352 days in a row. There are more videos that we've done since then, but um, and along the way in the mix. But this is definitely 352 officially for my 1 year trek of sketch cards. So I'm going to share this over with the page and the channel real quick so everybody can join us and see. And then I am going to jump on this thing and get it colored up so we can knock this one out. Bear with me just a second. Hey, Jimmy, Mark, thanks for making it. I'm going to hop on this real quick, sharing this with the channel. Facebook decided to drag a little bit, so I'm going to catch it that way. And there we go. Cool. Okay. Good and deal. Now, I'm going to be coloring this guy with mixed media today. I'm going to be using some Copics and some colored pencils. And I'm not sure if I'm going to get into the artist loss or not today, but I might. So you never know. But it's a rainy afternoon on a Sunday, and I am having a blast knocking stuff out. Been working a lot on this stuff today and getting tons and tons and tons of stuff done. It's so busy, but yeah, it's all good. I could not be busy. That would be a horrible thing. In that famous technical term that I like to use, it would suck. But anyway, and for all my young students, please don't say that. Be getting a bunch of emails from the parents. Stop saying that. That's not funny. I'm gonna grab a bold yellow here. Yeah, I'm gonna use the artist loft on this one. It's just got a great tone to it. So, going in with these really cool classic horns here, and the graphite's gonna smudge a little bit, which will give them a little bit of texture, which is gonna be awesome. And that's because on these sketch cards, it's easier and less damaging to the card for me to just ink right over the graphite and let it set, rather than going straight up and erasing it until after it's already inked, because this index card stuff likes to get really rough, and then it won't accept the canvas colors as much. So either or, it's all right. I hear a lot that I should dust my cards and dry up the graphite as the ink dries, but I don't like that, because then it takes out the texturing that I like for the horns and things like this, because it gives it a grit, and it shows that it's that it's the real piece, and it shows that it's got some texture to it. And I really like this because of the fact that then we won't have to worry about that too much, So by going in and having that, it breaks it up a little bit. But I need to turn around and grab my blue here. So I'm going to put in the traditional blue, orange, and gold colors on this. There's a few silver spots here and there, like up on the helmet, and these discs are normally silver or white on Odin, and the chest plate itself is kind of an orange, bronze, gray type of thing, which is strange because it's got a gray tinge to it. It's got this really neat orange to it, and then they shadow it with grays, and it kind of washes it right out, and just kind of on that. But we're gonna hang out and go with it a little bit here and there, so we'll see. But as of this point right now, I really want to grab the orange here and go hardcore with this, because I want it to be bright and cartoony. Okay, I do. I want this to be really, really cool with the look of Odin from the comics, especially from where this design was early 2000, and it had a literal orange tinge to it. So that's what we're going with, which is it's a huge throwback homage to the original Jack Kirby designs, which I loved because they had those bright 60s colors to where everything was colored on this guy in a different way. And I really, really loved that. So I like to use the orange armor in this particular case because of that effect right there. So, because it gives it that, 1960s Odin look. And I'm going to leave this open because we've got some details in here that are going to be silver. Some of them are going to be orange. Some of them are going to be gold or yellow. And I want to leave that open nice and clean. And if it grabs some graphite, it's fine because it makes it look weathered and gives it a nice dry texture whenever it comes out. So I like it. But anyway, and with these being sketch cards, it's a little bit more forgiving. I mentioned that a couple of times. It's a little bit more forgiving in the manner that it doesn't have to be perfect, and I'm not a perfectionist, because if I did that, I'd never get anything done, especially as an artist. So I'm okay with that. It's okay. Now, if I did this on a comic page, which I would never do anyway, because I wouldn't use that style of process, but it would make it really rough to follow through on a lot of that. I'm going to go ahead and add that shadow underneath here. I was going to leave it open and gold on top, but I'm going to go ahead and shadow that in orange because of the fact that I just like the look of it better and it having that kind of look, because it really doesn't have anything but a bright yellow going through these stripes. So it's going to look more reflective of the orange underneath anyway whenever all that goes down. So need to fill these in as well. And then it'll pick back up on the gold on the top. So it's a good deal. Take a second, poke my head over and say hi to everybody. Hey, let's see. Noel made it. Awesome, man. Thank you very much. Doing great today, Mickey. Mickey, I haven't seen you in ages, bud. Oh, man. Weather's getting my allergies going. I see that Mr. Jim is on. Hey, Jim. Thanks for stopping by, buddy. I appreciate it. He posted, I am Odin, I am the All-Father. Indeed. That is his catchphrase. Let's see. We're getting this done. I was reviewing a couple of my videos last night and getting ready to update them to the YouTube page or channel and Facebook page and all that. And man, it's crazy that it's been over 300 of these things now, over 350 of these things that we've knocked out together, and we've been hanging out. It's just crazy. Now, I know a lot of people want to leave this silver, but I'm going to go ahead and do this orange because, one, I like the look of it on these side panels, and I'm going to leave that part open, and I'll grab a gray here in a minute and do the white parts. But I want to do these heavy-duty parts, like where the horns mount and stuff like that, as orange as well, because of the fact that I want them to be extra dense pieces. So if anything happens to him, he's got that protection going on. And the back plate here, I'll leave that going on that way as an ornament type of thing. I'm going to come in on this one right here and give these ridges to his head so it'll stand out a little bit. And I think I'm going to put one right across the bridge of the nose here where that section goes off. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this open, like I said, and gray that out so it'll be like silver on his helmet. a little more decorative like Thor's. So we can have that going on, kind of chrome action. And I'll put in a little more yellow here and there, that kind of deal. But for the most part, I want this to have that kind of look to it, so it pops it out just a little bit more. And then I'm going to put some yellow in here for these sleeves on the ear covers kind of thing, and we'll go from there. But I'm going to leave that like that for now, because then I'm going to go in with this cape just to shake things up a little bit. I'm going to go in with a Sharpie on this cape here, and I'm going to make it look nice and bright red to contrast that blue. Lots of primary colors, because Kirby used to color in the 60s, and you know, it's one of those things. He liked bright colors that made your stuff just jump off the page and freak people out. And he wanted to do something eye-catching. That was always his thing. He wanted to do something eye-catching. He would use lots of bright colors, and no one else would really use them the same way that he did. I mean, it was crazy the way he did that. He would go in just all out and say, okay, this is the thing we're going to do, and this is what I've got in mind, and that's what he's doing. And I'm kind of letting that graphite catch on this one. I did this deliberately. I'm crossing the lines a little bit because I want this to look a little more dense and off color in comparison to the horn. So that's why I did that way. Now I have to rub the graphite, and what I'm doing is I'm spinning my brush here just so you guys can see I'm doing that to get the graphite off the tip. And now I'll go back in and do some of these highlighted areas really quick. I think I'm going to leave this, I'm going to do this yellow, and I'll do this one yellow as well, because I'm going to leave some of these disc silver. Put a shadow right there. Come on, give me a little more. There we go. Now it's starting to wear in. Cool. I want this to kind of look war-torn a little bit, so it's okay. Because, I mean, if you look, you can see the graphite in there where I left it and didn't erase it out. And I'm picking that up on purpose so that we can make these look a little different in texture in comparison. Now, I wouldn't recommend doing that with your Copics, because you might, you know, pick it up and have to wear it off the tip. But on these Artist Loft, they're a little more affordable to replace after time. So I can play with the graphite like that and not have to worry about it. Now, just for sake of doing so, I'm going to put a gold spot right here. I want it to stay gold. And I'm going to come in with these earpieces. I want to leave that silver for some reason, so I'm going to show that as a shadowed piece of trim there. Now, I think I'm going to leave it alone. And it says Odin has brown eyes, but every time I see him, he's got blue. So I'm going to put blue in there anyway. And if, you know, if his eye's wrong, you guys can hack on me about that later. But right now, I just want to do that. Now I'm going to go back in with, I'm going to grab my gray tones here real quick. Go back in with the grays. Let's see, where am I at? There we are. I want to do this with a pencil to keep it clean. Make that nice clean ridge there. That'll add in those grays and silvers without having to mess with all that. Let's see how we do. Yeah, I'm really liking that. So that's the way we're gonna go. Let's see. It depends on who the artist is as to what color changes it sets. And in this case, I'm the artist, so I get to set the rules. Just saying. So come right down in here. All right. Round that out a little more because it's kind of narrow there. And kind of blocking out those triangular shapes out of that. Awesome. All right. Now I'm going to have to go in a little bit harder and darker here because I've got to populate this beard with a little life. Okay. Don't want to put it everywhere, just in the heavy spots. Keep this very simple. Okay, shadow that section. A little bit under the helmet there. Right up underneath that lip. Segment some of this a little bit. Put it up underneath that big mustache. Right up under the nose a little. Cool deal. Now right up under here in the eyebrow. Like that. Kind of shade out that eyebrow a little. And now, right here in the back, where some of this other hair is sticking out the back of his helmet. And we have the base for Odin. Now, because it is Odin, and I want to be really, really cool with it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this really neat blue here, and I'm going to color this in. Nice and bright, 60s style. Solid background color. Now that I've got it started, I can even it up. This will be neat. I think it will anyway. I hope you guys dig it too. Now, go from edge to edge there. I'm going to outline him a little bit so I can go a little faster. By outlining him, a lot of people like to put the white line along their characters and stuff, and that's okay. But in this case, I like him to be a little more in depth into the picture itself and engulfed by it. So I want to make sure that it's physical contact, edge to edge on the line. Because I mean, if you want to make it pop out and look 3D and all that good stuff, and you know, like a card, that's fine. But I like them to look like they're actually in the environment. And to do that, you have to make the environment make contact and go behind them. Unless it's a hard black, and then you have to kind of put that simulated edge in there so that it'll keep it from just getting washed out. And that's about the only difference is, you know, you don't want the same color as the ink line that you have for the character, because it'll wash it out and it'll make it look flat. But in this case, we don't have to worry about that because we've got lots of color going on, and this definitely is not black. So we're going to wipe this out, trying to rotate my pencil here as we go so I keep a clean lead on it. Get that smooth line out there. We're just about done. And I try not to scribble back and forth. I try to go high because like I'm doing now, I'm catching the edge of the card once in a while, and I really don't want to do that because I don't want to put all those little snags on there. You know what I mean? So, which I'm not catching it hard enough to snag it right now, but if I was to go back and forth, that would be risk of a fold, and that would be horrible. Okay, darken that up a little bit because I have a little bit of a line right there where I changed the lid, rotated it. So just go back and darken that down a little bit, blend it in. So with that said, we now have Odin. I hope you guys dig it. That is another one for the books. And thanks, Jim. I appreciate the blue, man. He says he likes that blue. Yeah, that's what's coming up. And Sandro, you made it. Thank you very much for stopping by. I appreciate it, man. Caught me right here at the end. But as with every one of these, I want to say it's a great start to the week, and hope to see you guys tomorrow with the next one. And just a surprise of what's going on, just a little bit as to what's to come. Hulk versus Prime is coming up this week. So you guys dig in and hang with me, because we're about to hit that 1 year mark in about 10 days or so. It's crazy. Well, technically 13, but still. Anyway, we've got this big rock for a little while. It's party time right now, but just remember, we got to leave it for the next generation. So let's make it a cooler place than what we got it as. Catch you guys tomorrow.